Sam, first one here, you win. You get the prize of the day.
Awesome.
And I don't know what that is, but you deserve it. Ashlyn, Jakaya, welcome, welcome. All right. Well, today is Wednesday, which is our hump day wins. We need a better name. Wednesday wins is an alliteration, which I like that, but I like calling Wednesday hump day. It's that stupid commercial. What was that? Geico, probably.
Yeah.
Um, Gets me every time. So, uh, we are 2 days into our little come to the office and actually do some work type of meetups. So, I want some wins. What has gone well so far this week for you?
I had a not necessarily an appointment, but reached out to someone hadn't talked to in a long time, got, some coffee with them, and then, now they know I'm a realtor.
It's good. There is a book 8651, I think is what it's called. It's by Viral Workman, and his whole game plan is every week you go to lunch with one person, um, and then do all the things that we're doing. But you only have 50 people, and you try to go to lunch with one of those 50 people every single week. So it's like a more intense plan than we're doing with like call them 4 times, invite them to a couple of events kind of a thing. But it's like do some one-on-ones, have some great conversations, like be their best friend, but you're only with 50 people rather than trying to do it with as many as you possibly can. So interesting plan, but I like it. What other wins do we have?
I was able to make a lot of phone calls yesterday and talk to people that have been on my to call list for a while that I just haven't been making time for. So had some good conversations and yeah, just kind of keeping the plate spinning a little bit. A few of them might be turning into transactions in the coming months. So it's good to stay front of mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things like those are the calls if you don't make that randomly you'll call them and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we just bought a house." And you're like, "Dang it. Dang
Yep.
it." Literally in your pipeline, they're ready to grab and you were there. So, I have questions for you, Jakaya, with these. Um, it sounds like they might have been people that you've been meaning to call for a while and haven't. Was it awkward?
No, not at
Okay.
all. That might just be a personality thing for me that I've developed over the years.
Yeah. Well, good. Because one of the things that I want people to get out, it's not just like, let's brag about our wins today, but it's like, how can we help others uh, win based off of our wins? Kind of an idea. Um, I remember the years ago, I was watching, I don't know, Sports Center or something, and they were showing a clip of someone on one team teaching someone else on the other team how to guard James Harden. And it was like it was so interesting to watch two basically they compete against each other, but like they were coming together to go beat James Harden. So and it worked. Like he defended him really well. He did the game plan and it shut him down more than most did. And so that's kind of like our game plan. Like when you figure out what's working for you, I want this to be shared so that everyone can start to be like, okay, like those awkward phone calls. Like I've been meaning to call this person for a while, and if I'm just not awkward about it, then awesome. It's not awkward. Or, you know what? I haven't talked to this person in a while. I say, let's go get some coffee, and that works. It's a win. They know we're in real estate. It's good to go. So,
One
loving
one
it.
thing I start when I
Yeah.
started calling people last year, I had a goal last year just to call every contact I had saved in my phone. And I kind of just used that as an excuse to call them. I just let them know my goal is like, hey, my goal is by the end of the year to call every single person on my phone, just catch up. I've been terrible at it. Just wanted to, I know it's been years since we've talked. Like, you probably don't even remember who I am because I've had some people's phone numbers in my phone since college, and I haven't talked to them since college, and it's been 15 years. So there's a couple of funny ones on there that are like, oh, I think I remember you. And then I was trying, like, there's some people I called that I didn't even remember who they were. I was like, I've got your number in my phone and I have a goal to call everyone. How do you think we know each other? Like, do you remember me? And then it was just kind of fun. But I think it's good to do stuff that helps you get out of your comfort zone.
I 100% agree. What came of that when you did that?
Nothing resulted in a transaction yet, but if anything, it got me talking to more people and hopefully will lead to referrals. If anything, yeah, half the people didn't know I was in real estate, which is my fault, not theirs. So
Yeah.
that was good. I let them know that because it naturally comes up like, oh, what are you up to now? And I ask them what they're doing, and they ask me inevitably what I'm doing. Like, oh, I'm doing real estate in Utah. And usually it's not them, but they sometimes I always ask them like, hey, you're probably not buying or selling this year, but who do you know that might be? And be sure to put me in contact with your friend or coworker or whoever.
Love it. Well, and I imagine if you were to go make all those calls again, now that would be almost easy. Like you've touched bases, you've remade the contact. It'd be really easy to be like, hey, it's been a
Yeah,
year or whatever.
just following back up again, see how you guys are doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an easy call. There was an agent in our office for years and years that he would print out a list of every contact in his phone, and then he would decide how many days he was going to work in that quarter. And he so if it was like he needed to make 10 calls today, kind of a thing. And then every 10, he'd draw a line. Actually, he had an assistant do that. And so then on Monday morning, he'd get in and he'd wander the office on speakerphone having a conversation. I'm like, just put some headphones in or hold the phone to your face like a normal person. I don't know why you're on speakerphone. But he would just walk circles around the office and he would always start, hey, it's your real estate agent, Aaron, just giving you a call, checking in. How are things going? And that's how every call would be every single day. Like I would get sick of it and then want to throw things at him. But you know what? Everyone knows he's in real estate because he would start, it's your real estate buddy, Aaron. Um, and then he'd just have a conversation. He oftentimes wouldn't even mention real estate past that, but he just knew I need to have 10 conversations every single day or 10 calls every single day. When he was done with that, he was done. If he didn't do it, then he'd have to do 20 the next day or however many he missed. And he would just go through the whole thing. And he was good about getting over that awkwardness. But if he ever was like, I'm never going to call this person, he would literally delete them out of his phone so it would never happen again. And that was his system, and it worked for him. So whatever works for you. Okay, what other wins do you guys have so far for the week?
I have lunch with old friend tomorrow.
Ooh, I love that. Um, I was talking to someone yesterday who was like worried that they don't have enough people to reach out to. Um, And I listened to this podcast the other day of someone that wanted, like, they moved to a new area and they knew like three people and they wanted to make a lot more friends, but they were introverted. And so what they did is they did these dinner nights and they said, "Hey, I'm going to have this dinner night. We're going to have, I don't know, 8 people." He decided it was like the ideal number in his mind for the reasons that he explained in this podcast. But he said, "I want you to bring one friend," and he told that to all of his friends. And then he reached out to someone else that he didn't really know at work to get the last person. So there's 8 of them. And then it kind of spiraled, and he does the same thing every single week. So I thought, like, what a perfect time as you're meeting with these people, you can always say, like, hey, bring like a friend from work or something. I'm trying to meet new people. And so it could be like getting to know someone. It could be like a let's go hang out and actually make new friends type of an idea. Like I'll bring someone new, you bring someone new. Now then we'll each know someone else awesome. That works really well once you have the connection a little bit better. So this is awesome that you're reconnecting with some old people. Uh, so good work.
Speaking of old people, I reached out to someone I knew in high school, which was a million years ago, and he knew I was in real estate, and I'm like, how do you know that? Like, and keep in mind, I went to high school in California, and I found out, oh, he lives in Eagle Mountain. What the heck? So,
Yeah.
now the fact he knows I'm in real estate, hopefully they'll turn into something.
And he's just right here. So there's this idea. This is the last thing I'll leave you with. Um, gosh, who did this? It's maybe Givers and Takers was the book. Is that Simon Sinek? Seth Godin? I can't remember. One of those guys. Um, it was this idea of weak ties. So if you've heard about this, is if you were looking for a job, like you got laid off and you wanted another salary job, not real estate, something like that. The very best way for people to find this is not actually their good friends. For some reason, if you reach out to people you haven't talked to in a while, they more likely are able to get you a job than someone that is close to you. And so they call it weak ties. And so I imagine this in my brain as like imagine a little circle. And if you call like your best friend, everyone else in their circle of influence, like their good friends, are probably your good friends. Like a couple of years ago, I called one of my buddies because I knew he needed to buy a house, and I was like, Jeff, you should buy a house. He's like, I 100% want to. Let's do this. And I was like, okay, well, I'm trying to look for more people. Who else should I call? He's like, I don't really know. So then I called we had like six roommates. And so we were all friends. So I called another guy that used to be my roommate, Casey. And I was like, Casey, I'm looking for people to try buy a house. I'm in a competition. Who else should I call? He's like, you should call Jeff. And I was like, I already called Jeff. Who else? He's like, I don't know. Maybe try Pookie, see if who he knows. So I called Pookie and I was like, Pookie, I'm in a competition. Who should buy a house? And he's like, you should call Jeff. I was like, I already called Jeff. He's like, maybe Casey knows someone. I was like, nope, I just talked to Casey. And he's like, I don't know, maybe Lucas. And we just did this little circle roundabout, and I got zero referrals. And I already knew Jeff wanted to buy a house, so that doesn't even count. But when you call those like random people that you haven't talked to in a while or you don't have a great connection with, they have a whole group of friends that you're not tied into. And so when they say, oh, call my buddy Jeff, it's not your buddy Jeff, it's their buddy Jeff. And it's a complete different person. You're tapped into this whole other network of people. And so you can actually go further faster and expanding who you're talking to. So in terms of referrals and finding business, sometimes the very best way to do it is those like awkward phone calls. So today for our calls, I have two things. Well, I have a lot of things. Number one, today is our day for follow up with all of your clients. What this means is if you have ever sat down with a person in a buyer or seller type conversation and they have not bought or sold their home yet, that is your number one priority today. That's where you should focus. Next is just kind of clean up from our past days. If you have old leads still that you haven't talked to, and then the DTD2, those should be your top three priorities. But I'm going to add a little challenge in for the day. I want you to be like Sam and Ashlyn and call someone that you haven't talked to in a long time and catch up. You don't have to talk about real estate. You can use whatever excuse you want, like, hey, I was going to call someone else about real estate that had your same name. I saw your number and I clicked on it because I was like, I wonder what they're up to. It's been forever. Like whatever your excuse internally needs to be so that you can make this call, do that. And do five of these. Like five of these I haven't talked to you in a while kind of reach outs. But then you don't have to talk anything. Don't ask for referrals, don't do anything. Just reconnect and chat and then leave the door open so you can follow up later. Maybe it's 2, 3 months down the road, you end up calling them on the DTD2, and that's when you're getting referrals. Or maybe they are going to have a referral naturally for you. Who knows? But so go do that. Call your clients, finish off the M and X DTD2 and then leads, and make sure you do your 5 it's been a while type calls. This is one of those things that will bear more fruit over time, and you will be grateful. My big thing this year is I'm trying to do things that my future self will thank me for. And this is one of those things. Your future self will definitely thank you if you reached out to some of these people you haven't talked to in a while. Today, also, we have a great Rise class. So if you are still in education mode, not to be confused with avoiding action, education, not avoiding action, we have Mariah doing a social media class. And so jump in that at 9:30. She's created it more like a workshop, so we're probably going to be done still in time that you could make some of these phone calls. So if you're like, I don't have clients, I don't have Sphere, I don't have old leads, and you can come to the social media and still do your 5 reach outs to people you haven't talked to in a long time that you feel like you should. So hopefully I will see you all here at 9:30 at the office. We'll be making calls out here as always, or I'm going to actually be downstairs. I'm going to the social media class. I need to up my social media game, so I'm going to be there if you want to come hang out with me or make some calls and let me know how it goes today. Have a great one, everyone. We'll see you.
Thanks, Cameron.